Hello friends, how are you? How's things? How's life? How's stuff? How was your weekend? How was last week? Hope it was good. I think most of you are aware that I wasn't actually here last week. It was GenCon, and I was at GenCon. That's why I answered your questions. I haven't looked at any of your comments yet, so I owe a whole lot of your responses, but we'll do that later this week. For now, I wanted to kind of talk about my GenCon, because this is all I brought back, which is a bit weird for me. In fact, this whole Gen Con was a bit weird for me. In case you are unaware, I am Chevee. I am part of Portal Games. I am Portal Games US. I've been with Portal Games for 11 years, so this is my, I think, 10th Gen Con, if you count the ones missed. You know why. With the company, this is the first time ever we did not have a new release at Gen Con. We fully intended on having a new release at Gen Con. We had plenty of lead time to get the product to our warehouse so that we could ship it to Gen Con, but it just didn't happen. It didn't happen because other people had paused, so getting on a ship got delayed, getting the ship to port got delayed, getting the games through custom got delayed. Delays all along, and there was just nothing we could do about it. So for the first time ever, we missed. One time before, our games were held up at customs in Chicago and didn't make it to Gen Con until Wednesday, which was a bit hairy. Like, I was thinking about driving my truck to Chicago and picking them up myself and coming back. Like, I literally would have done that if we ended up having to pay a freight forwarder a bunch of money and stuff. But this was the first time ever. And going into Gen Con, looking at the BGG list, looking at the BGG hotness list, there was like over 600 new titles announced. And going to Gen Con for me was very strange because I had 0 games on my list. Normally, I go through that BGG list, I look at the what's coming and look at the new stuff, and I find all kinds of interesting titles. I found nothing. Literally nothing on the list interested me. And that was strange. Day 0, so Tuesday I got there, we played some games. I did find out that I had skipped over one of the games, which was Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. I thought it was an expansion. Turns out it's a standalone game. So immediately I had a game on my list. Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. The reason I thought that, well, we could talk about that some other time. So I had that on the list. Something else in here got added to the list later on in the week because I was like, oh yeah, I need to get that. The point is, that's it. I had one game on my list. I got it within a half an hour of the doors opening. That was it. Done. My Gen Con is done. That is a very strange thing. It's never happened before. And in fact, this whole convention was very, very strange because I felt like that was the feeling for the whole show. There was nothing new and exciting. There was nothing that everybody was clamoring for, in my opinion, in what I saw in the hall. I've been going to Gen Con since 1996. I worked at United States Playing Cards back then. I now have the last 11 years with Portal. There's always easily identifiable games that everybody is scrambling for. Everybody's talking about this game, they brought 50 a day. This game, they have 100 a day. And there's, everybody's carrying the same bag with the same games in it because that's the hot game. I saw none of that. Literally not a single title. I'll tell you how weird it was. On the drive home, I realized, Asmodee bought like a third of the industry. Owns every title, every IP you could possibly think of. Has this huge store in the middle of the floor with this big snaking line every year. They have new releases and people stand in that line for hours on end to get up to their thing. There was never a line there. Maybe at 10 o'clock. Maybe for the first half hour of the show there was a line. I went over there at about 10:30 on a Friday. Or maybe it was Saturday. One of the 2 days. There was nobody in the line. I walked right up to the window. That's never happened. That line is always full all day long. There was nobody. There was no lines. The only line I saw consistently was at the end of my aisle. The only reason I knew that this line existed, because there was zero people talking about this game. I don't even know if it is a game. Something called Doomlings at the very end of my row had some sort of like wheel that you spun and you won something. I don't know. That line was like there the entire show. And the only reason I know is because they were blocking the bathroom. I have no idea. I heard zero people talking about whatever Doomlings is, but that was the thing that, the line that I saw. Otherwise, though, the strange thing is, I talked to friends who have booths, friends who sell product, and they all had amazing record-breaking years, like really solid record-breaking years. But I heard nothing about their products. Like, nobody was talking about their products. And I talked about this a good bit with friends that I really think that the gaming industry is so segmented right now, meaning that there are so many aspects. There are so many people who are just looking for card games. There's so many people who are just looking. There's no longer this is the game for everybody. That doesn't exist anymore. And on top of that, there's no longer a social media platform that everybody is on. Like, this is the thing that's driving everybody. Maybe TikTok is the new, X or Twitter or whatever. But back in the day, Twitter, literally everybody was on it. And so everybody had the same information. Now it's all segmented. Everybody's left those platforms for other platforms, but now there's like 5 different ones and there's different groups on each one and figuring out what is new. Like, there was no no organic buzz. It was very, very strange. So what did I bring home? Well, this is the fun part. I brought home a game that doesn't exist yet. I brought this home. This is Bohemians. I think we already talked about this. This is a Portal product. This is our SN release. I did not. I was going to give this to somebody, but he never came back to the booth. Media person, whatever. I would have given it to him. I played the heck out of it. Had a blast with it. Very good game. So I guess that's new. There is one other product in this box. I already told you what it is. This is the only new game I picked up this year. And this is Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. I love Forest Shuffle. They did a whole bunch of expansions. I got the first one, and I don't want any more. In fact, I might take the first one. I might take the expansion out of the box. I think the expansions make the game worse. They just dilute the game, and then you have to shuffle up and then discard half the deck, and it really makes the game less fun. Part of the fun for this game for me is once you know the deck, then it becomes a little bit more intuitive what you should do. So when I found out this wasn't an expansion, shot straight to the list. I'm stupid excited to play it. It has some new interesting mechanics. Yeah, Forest Shuffle Dartmoor. That's the first thing I picked up. The second thing I picked up was... so nothing else in here is new. This is all old stuff. My booth partners in crime were talking about trades with CGE. I told them I wanted SETI. They traded for SETI. So I got a copy of SETI. I'm very interested in this game. I was interested in it last year, but it was the hotness last year and it sold out. This year I was able to get it pretty easily. That was like a Friday I got that, I think. I think the third thing I got, every year, here's the other thing that was weird. In the back corner of the convention center, there's what they call Entrepreneur Avenue. And it's like a couple of aisles where they have small booths for cheap prices for first-time vendors. And every year, I go back there and I try to find the small booth that is selling something and nobody's stopping, nobody's talking to them. Their product, they're just like hoping on a prayer that they can make it. And I try to find those guys and I buy something. I went back there this year and there was none of that. They were all like, here's my wildly successful Kickstarter game that's already in distribution. Like, it was all that. There was no little guy. What I did find, though, was spread throughout the hall were these little guys. And I talked to some people who thought it was cancellations. People canceled, and so these little guys got seats, in the main area, which was very strange to me. And I found one who had a product I'd never heard of, and it's cute as hell. This is called Winter Haven Woods Fresh Snow from Featherstone Games. I think it's adorable. It's a 3+ player drafting tableau builder. Very simplistic. I bought it because it was adorable, and I met the designer and artist. He did both, and I think he's a really great guy, and he's really hopeful that this product will succeed, and he'll be able to make new expansions because this is a second edition, essentially. This also was a successful Kickstarter, but not a wildly successful Kickstarter, and it's basically unheard of on BGG. So I'm really excited about that. It's really fun. And then I have one more thing. I mean, I guess technically I went and bought some sleeves for Shuffle Dartmoor. My friend bought this. I haven't opened mine yet. My friend bought this, and the cards were horrible. Like, the Forest Shuffle cards were bad. These cards were like ragged on where they cut them. Like, just not cut well. So I went and bought sleeves, which defeats the whole point of the plastic-less game when I have to buy sleeves to make it playable. Don't get it. I don't understand. I guess this counts as something. The RZM Quick Start Guide, Volume 2 from Red Raven Games. We were neighbors, and I've been friends with Ryan forever. This is the quick start guide an updated quick start guide for the RPG. So I guess that's a new thing. And then the last thing I picked up was Mistborn, the deck building game. This surprised me because I've been wanting it and I just keep forgetting that it exists. And they had a huge stack of these in their booth. Their booth was like right behind ours. So I walked over there and saw they had a huge stack. So I was like, well, on Sunday I'll try to trade for one. And I went over there on Sunday and they were gone. And I was like, did you sell out a Mistborn? And he said, I have 3 left. And I was like, oh, I was going to trade for it, but I guess I'll just buy it when I get home. And he's like, no, I'll trade. That's fine. Let's trade. And I was like, are you sure you can sell them? He's like, I sold enough. He said, I brought 600. I've never brought 600 of anything to GenCon. I've never imagined I could sell 600 of anything, let alone a game that's been out for a year. Like, you could buy this right now at your local store, at your Barnes & Noble, at your Target. Like, it's a very available game. I just keep forgetting to buy it. But apparently 600 other people did too. I guess I don't have a game with Brandon Sanderson on the box, but that blew my mind. But what really blew my mind is I bought one new game. That's it. Everything else I tried up and down from Capstone. I enjoyed the game. It won't make it to my table with my friends and my family. I tried the poker game that people were talking about, Ace of Spades. I almost bought it just because Lemmy is the big bad in that game. Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead, who sang Ace of Spades. I almost bought it for that reason, but I looked at Vantage. No, I'm good, thanks. I think the weirdest part was the game I heard the most about, and only because they were directly across the hall from me, was Bezier Games has a game coming to Kickstarter soon called The Game Makers that is about making board games, and they have a whole bunch of board game publishers agreed to have their games featured in this game. But that's a game for the 500 people that are in that room as vendors. It's not a game for anybody else. I don't think that's going to succeed very well. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. That's very possible. Yeah, very, very, very strange year. I wouldn't call this a haul. I would call this like I was really trying to find something to buy. So, that was my GenCon experience. Thoughts, questions, concerns, comments? Did I miss something obvious? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, as always. I will get to the comments from last week, I promise. I've just been busy with the baby since I got home. So, talk to you all. Oh, thank you for watching. Please like. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Please tell your friends. I very much appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 20 things to start doing in your relationships. Number 16, allow others to make their own decisions. Do not judge others by your own past. What might be good for one person might not be good for another. What might be bad for one person might change another person's life for the better. Yeah. I think what they're trying to say there is don't project yourself onto other people. I have a bad habit of that.